Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another StarCraft Brood War Remastered upload! Man, I need to nail that down. This will be a game between eOnzErG and Adelscott here on Fighting Spirit. In the top left-hand corner of the map, we have the red Zerg player. It's going to be eOnzErG. He is a Belgian Zerg player of Cuban origin, actually, who resides in Spain. So he's all over the place here. Very interesting. A member of the clan International Federation of Untouchables. So very, very strong Zerg player. We can see from the APM here, he's sitting at 600, which is nuts. And then his opponent in the bottom left-hand corner of Fighting Spirit is the purple Protoss player. It's going to be Adelscott, a Protoss player from France, currently teamless. He is considered one of the best French players for Brood War, and he first was a part of Team Millennium, which needed a talented Protoss player at the time, and he filled that spot for them very nicely. So, let's see how these players do. Probe up here, can't quite block the hatch, didn't get there in time. It's a 4-player map, so figuring out where your opponent is hard, though he did actually go the right way first, didn't he? I feel like he did. Either way, spawning pool first here out of Adelscott into a hatchery, which again is totally fine. Get some early aggression off against the Protoss player. He did go gate first, not a forge first from Adelscott. This is actually a replay that I found part of a StarCraft Remastered Open Invitational. That one happened a bit ago. I did some Googling trying to find some higher level StarCraft Remastered replays. It was not easy. It was not easy to find them, but because I love you very much, I was able to pull these out. Hopefully they'll provide some interest for us, a little bit some higher level remastered stuff than what we've seen on the channel recently, where the games tend to be over fairly quickly and perhaps there's not as much excitement as you would want. Can we zoom out? Oh, that's a big zoom. Look at this. We could see the two bases of the Zerg on the left side and his third base he's taking way over here all at the same time. This zoom is my favorite part of Remastered. It just is. The Zealot coming in for some harassment. Walking right on into this base. There are some lings here. Yeah, there's 4 of them. All right, yeah, Zealot's toast. Toast. Whoa. Great positioning, though. Positioning himself between this mineral line and the wall. Can't get that surround. You lings need that surround. No, don't leave. Oh. Okay, the thing is you can't kill drones from there either, so that's a problem. Got some lings up here doing some garbage harassment. I mean, it's not garbage, it's legitimate. Both players are harassing. There's nothing wrong about either of those things. Trying to kill some stuff, but again, Zealot defense. And probes can fight for themselves pretty well here as well. So going for that surround, gonna get the Zealot. Zealot's gonna die with 4 kills though, which is more than, almost got 5 there, which is more you can say for most Zealots that I've ever known. It is the Forge and it is a cannon, so you do want to defend early against Zerg harassment. Using this cannon. Where did these lings come from? They must have come in early before that cannon was there. 3 lings rolling into this mineral line. Probes fighting, zapping best they can, and not doing as well. Okay, 1 ling does go down, leaving 2, which is not as good as 3. I mean, it just kind of goes without saying, right? Zealot wandering up with his purple braid. Purple's a pretty good color for Protoss, I would say, in the Remastered. Look at how smooth and shiny. Smooth and shiny. Name that movie. I mean, I guess I might have to give you a little bit more. Shampoo goes on first and cleans the hair, but conditioner leaves the hair silky and smooth and shiny. I'm not even doing it right, though. It's been a long time, plus it's like 11 o'clock here, so late night casting when you have a full-time job and a family, that's pretty much all you can pull off. Lings rolling into this mineral line again. Hey guys, how you doing back here? Fine? Wondrous. Just wonderful. Oh, there's a Zealot defending. Didn't even see you there amongst the probes. I'm not sure that eOnzErG did either. Eon or Aeon? I think it's an E. eOnzErG. From the International Federation of Untouchables. That's IFU up there on the top. Oh, picked off another probe. Nicely done. I really wish I had a units lost tab, you guys. I do, but they didn't give one to us. They didn't give us anything but this really super cool zoom. Oh, you can see these links up here. So dumb. Oh, another Zergling dies, but took out another probe. This is some really excellent harassment from these Zerglings. That guy is down to about 50% health, but the probes don't chase him. They're not going to chase him at all. Lings here at the front, setting up a bit of a contained third base. It is done and happily be mined from. You see how few workers there are on these bases? I cast one of these with lower level players, who I think came from StarCraft, because they had so many workers. at all of their bases. They were ridiculously oversaturated. This is just about what you need. What do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 maybe? 8 per base is fine. You don't need much more than that. Zealots pushing out from Adelscott. The Frenchman, oui, monsieur. My French comprehension is good. Speaking is actually super terrible. Muy terrible, which again makes no sense at all. I'm just feeling silly. Zealots rolling on up here into this natural base. I think, are there enough lings to deal with this? Well, he's going to try anyway. Adelscott continuing to hack away at these lings of eOnzErG, and pretty good positioning here. Again, on the Zealots, trying to make sure they can't get fully surrounded, but nope. Too many lings. Maybe get a drone. No. Didn't even get a drone. I really wish I could see worker count, but I can see 37 supply for the Zerg compared to 35 for the Protoss. So we're pretty even when it comes down to it. There's your first Corsair. So this is likely to be going to be Corsair DT out of Adelscott. It's a very good combination just because the Corsairs kill these flying overlords, which are all detectors, and once all the detection is gone, that means the DTs can just wreck everything unless you have other detection available in, like, for example, a Spore Crawler. There are already Hydras out, however. For eOnzErGs, perhaps this is not going to go as well. Lair just about to pop here from the Zerg player. Pop! There it is. That popping animation not as smooth as I would expect it to be in Remastered, but that's fine. Is this Link still up here? This 2-kill Zergling is still up here. Just hanging out. He wants to kill some more things. There's the Citadel of Adun. Templar Archive is going to come in here next. Got some idle probes, but again, you have to manually tell them where to go after they are built. And it's just hard. It's really hard. Even with Jaedong and like Bisu or Flash games, you'll see idle workers just because it's really hard to keep track of 4 or 5 bases, all constantly making drones, all constantly making probes, and assigning them all a specific place to go as soon as they pop out. It's the one thing that I always bring up when compared to StarCraft 2 is the automatic rallying of harvesters to mineral fields and Vespene geysers is fantastic. Really makes the game easier. Corsairs is just scouting around. I'm not sure they're expecting to find any overlords here in the top right corner of the map, but they do see the 4th base out of eOnzErG. Overlords doing a great job staying by their Hydralisk pals. Hydras are your friends here today. Ling's making sure there is no ground move out here from our Protoss player Adelscott. Did he? There it is. Templar Archives. Okay, so Templar Archives is done. Is he making... Oh, I was going to say, another one that's a gateway. That's a gateway, which means he can... There you go. Dark Templar in production. All I need is that Templar Archives. There is no Dark Shrine in StarCraft Brood War or StarCraft Remastered. Corsair, again, trying to kill his overlords, but no. The Hydras say no. There's a range upgrade and a speed upgrade for Hydras. I don't know if they have it or not. Oh, actually working on the Lurker upgrade here at the Lurker, or Hydralisk Den, rather. Still trying to fly around. Really keeping the Zerg player contained, though. The Hydras can't really move out and abandon the Overlords, so this is working out fairly well for Adelscott. Got these cannons defending. Once the Lurkers come out, though, the Lurkers are going to be real good. Real good against the DTs as long as they have detection helping them out. So that's what these Overlords are for. Creep colony coming up the front. Yeah, turn this into a Spore, and I think you can probably move out with the Hydras. You don't need them anymore. 3 Lurkers in production as well here for eOnzErG. That upgrade finished. This is still bouncing like it's upgrading, but it's not upgrading anything, actually. So the speed of these Hydras tells me he has speed. Is there a DT up here? I think there was a DT up here. I'd go back, but I'm really afraid to click this. You can go back by clicking, but it's very imprecise. Oh, here it is. Here's the DT. That's hard to see, man. 2 Dark Templar, and does get murdered by the Hydralisks. Who got that kill? Who got that kill? One of you guys got that kill. Did the Lurker get the kill? Oh, the Lurker got the kill. Surprise. All right, there's that Spore Crawler upgrade from the Creep Colony. Creep Colony used to spread creep. And there's the Spore. Looking kind of ugly, actually. It looks uglier in StarCraft Remastered. No offense, Spore Crawler. You're just a building, though, so I don't think you have feelings. Pretty sure you don't have feelings. The problem here is Adelscott is getting... I don't want to say out-macroed, but I think he's getting out-macroed is the thing. Made a High Templar. Does he have Storm? He's working on it. Working on Psionic Storm. Okay, excellent. So Storm, very good against a massing Hydralisk player here. Pretty good against Lurkers, too. Don't one-shot them, but two-shot them. 2 Storms will kill a Lurker with 125 hit points. Yeah, I am 80% sure that is correct. It's just there's 4 bases for eOnzErG right now. Another hatch coming up there. More, but that's not a macro hatch. That's a Queen's Nest and an Evolution Chamber here. Queen's Nest needed to upgrade to a Hive. if that's what kind of thing you're interested in doing here as eOnzErG. Or you can make queens. Queens are flying units in Brood War. They have Parasite. They have Spawn Broodling. Spawn Broodling is a really good spell that I don't think we've seen on the channel yet. Corsair trying to pick off an Overlord. No, Hydra's in perfect position once again. Here from eOnzErG to make sure that does not happen. Sunken Colony defense here at the 4th base is kind of far away. You want some kind of static defense. But it's a spell. It costs 150 energy, and it will turn any ground, mechanical, or biological unit into Broodlings. It's a one-shot KO on them. It doesn't work on robotic ground units. So it doesn't work on Reavers. And what else is a ground robotic unit from Protoss? It works on Dragoons. Definitely does work on Dragoons. Killing his own cannon because it's in the way. Also this gateway because it's in the way. But pretty much everything. It'll one-shot pretty much anything. Turn them into Broodlings, which again, attack. It's like this adding insult to injury type situation where you just lost your tank and there are Broodlings attacking the tank next to it. It's terrible. Look at these lurkers. These are really well defended. These players, man. These players are playing extremely defensively, but it's time to go. Time to go from Adelscott. He has his Dragoons. I'm pretty sure they have the range upgrade. I would be shocked if they did not have the range upgrade just because it helps them so much. Gives them much more utility. High Templar with Storm, again, a staple against any Zerg opponent you might come up against here. Sunken Colony, Spore Crawlers at the front. The problem is Zerg's been essentially left alone. eOnzErG has 119. Supply to 110, so not too far behind is Adelscott. Middle of the map, Ling's just running around willy-nilly. He's got Overlord spread like crazy. He's not worried about Corsairs at all. This is amazing. From eOnzErG. His map presence and map awareness and what he can see is, I feel like it's 80% of the map. It's nuts. Trying to expand up here on the left side of the map for his third is Adelscott, which seems a little bit late. We're about 13 minutes into this replay, and he's just now getting a third base. Storms on top of the Lings. The Lings are running through. Not enough of them to really do much against this mass portion of the army for Adelscott. But just scouting to see what the composition is, what I need to deal with. It's Templar are a big deal, but back when I used to play Zerg, it was going to be Queens with Spawn Broodling. Defiler Mound on the way, so Hydras with Dark Swarm. A pretty good answer here, although I'm pretty sure Storm gets through that. Somebody let me know in the comments. Psionic Storm does actually damage units inside Dark Swarm because it's not a projectile attack, it's a spell. I am 80% sure that is the case. I guess we can watch because we're going to see it. That Defiler Mound is done. Defilers are in production right there, here at the natural base. The army's right at the front, though. This is a scary army. +2/+1 upgrades here for Adelscott on his ground units. The Hydralisks have +1 attack. The Lings have nothing. The Lings have nothing. Coming around the backside, a Ling counterattack here. Lurkers and Spines. Storm right on top of that Lurker. And was that a second one? I think that was a second one that finished it off. So finishing off the Lurkers, the Sunken Colony doing a lot of work here at the front. 2 Sunken Colonies. I wish I could see how many kills they were. Lings trying to get up here and get rid of this third base. They do. They get through the Zealot attack. The Zealot defense, rather. Getting rid of cannons as well. +1 armor. Lings. Pretty scary. And forced to retreat back to try to save his third base. The Lings are getting it. Zealot trying to hold it. Coming up ramps is really hard for Dragoons, as it turns out, and they will. They will save the third base, but that counterattack was excellently timed out of eOnzErG, and he had enough defense at the front to save it. So Defiler can use the Consume ability to chew up a Zergling or whatever unit he wants to and regain 50 energy per chew. Here. Now, you could also do a Lurker, but that is not efficient, right? 1 Zergling for 50 energy seems like a fair trade. Coming up again with basically a Dragoon High Templar attack here. This is all he has. I don't know about this. Either way, taking out a Sunken. There we go. There's the Dark Swarm. And the Storm. Yep, the Storm is hurting that Hydralisk, even though it was inside the Dark Swarm. I'm pretty darn sure that's what happened there. It is sometimes hard to tell visually the borders of the Dark Swarm, where you're safe versus where you're not, but that Hydra was right in here and did take damage. I'm pretty sure it was from Storm. Another huge Ling attack at this third base, which is on fire, of Adelscott's. There are some Zealots here, but they are severely outnumbered by Zerglings with +1/+1. Yep, third base is toast. Pylons going down as well. Coming back and trying to save it is Adelscott, but it's just It's too late. These Lings have nothing to do. They're just sort of here right now. I guess we can kill some Zealots. They said, you want to kill some Zealots? Sure. Sure, their friend said we can do that. So no third base for Adelscott is going to be a backbreaker. I think it's just going to be a backbreaker for him. Oh, Plague tossed down on the units as well. Oh, Dragoons. Plague's really good against Protoss because it sucks the health off of the units, and health can't be regenerated by Protoss. So look at this, down to 2 hit points. You can regenerate your shields. That's great, but you're always going to be deficient down here. You're always going to be in the red until you die. That is so bad. That was a huge... Another Plague? Same. Coming from all directions here is the Zerg army. We're going to use almost the full extent Storms on top of the Hydras. Hydras kind of walking into it there on the top side. Lings coming from the bottom side. More Hydras joining the party on the flank. The Storms are pretty much consistent here from Adelscott, and they're doing pretty well. The Hydras are not being protected by anything. They're just nakedly eating up those Storms. Lurkers trying to join it at the same time, but nope, with range. Dragoon's pretty good. Dragoon's pretty good against the Lurkers here. Suddenly it's 101 to 130 supplied. Adelscott is still down, but not as down as he used to be. More attacks in here with Hydralisks and with Lurkers. The trades may not be cost efficient for the Zerg, but he's on 4 base. And Adelscott is on 2, and I just think he's going to be able to kind of slowly wear him down. Shuttle. Oh, did he try to do a High Templar drop here at the 3rd base and got picked off by these here Hydralisks? Again, Nidus Canals are different from StarCraft 2 in that they only can go from one place to one place. So this is directly corresponding with another Nidus Canal, which is probably over here. Yeah, here it is. So it's a 1-to-1 thing. 1-to-1 thing. Another attack up from Adelscott, taking out some Lurkers. These Storms are good. Lurkers are just kind of unsupportedly hanging out here along the path up to his natural base. At least it's slowing the Protoss player down. He is retaking his 3rd here. And in production, more Defilers, more Consume being used on these Zerglings to give us basically full health Defilers. And the Lurkers with +2/+2 now. And the Zerglings are at +2/+1, sharing that Carapace upgrade with the Hydralisks. And the Lurkers, we just have red all over the map right now. If Adelscott can't hold this 3rd base, I don't know what he's going to do. Zoom! Ooh, we can see Defilers coming. This is actually pretty good. Oh, the Storms on the Defilers, though. They get a Plague off. There's the Dark Swarm. But Lurkers die anyway. And yeah, that was Storm. That was Storm taking out a Defiler inside Dark Swarm. So yes, only stops projectile attacks like Dragoons, like Marines, like tanks, but it does not stop spells from hitting them. Oh, Plague also works on buildings. I didn't mention that. A lot of attacks up here with Ling, Hydra, Lurker right at the front door. There are enough Zealots here with +3 attack. It's pretty bad for the Lings. Storms again, finishing these Lurkers out like they're really not even there. But guess who's here? Dark Swarm Hydralisk at the 3rd base. Again, denying the 3rd base is a game-winning strategy for eOnzErG. If he can do this and nothing else, I mean, he can't just roll over and die, but if he can do this, feeling pretty good about the Zerg player's chances here. Poor Adelscott. Adelscott, more Storms, I guess. He got +3 attack on his ground units. That's good with +2 armor. That is pretty good. But it is 160 supply versus 81, so doubling up the supply here right now is eOnzErG. I don't know how Adelscott can recover from this. I really don't. Got probes. He's turtling as best he can. He can force the Zerg to come over these little bridges and down these little ramps and murder them that way. But there's a 5th base being taken here on the right side by eOnzErG. He might set up on this left side here too, just to be mean, honestly. Yeah, honestly. And again, if you can find any high-level StarCraft Remastered replays you want me to cast, send them to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com with the level of subject of high-level StarCraft Remastered replay. Yeah, I think this is eOnzErG just throwing down the hammer right now, coming right into this natural base, getting rid of pylons, trying to come back with a couple Archons and a couple High Templar. And Archon comes in on his own. He looks kind of silly remastered. It's kind of rainbowy here, but this is so many Hydralisks with +3 attack and +2 armor. Oh, the Storms are real though! Oh, the Storms! They're taking some Dragoons with them, but look at this graveyard of Hydralisk bones. Hydralisk still laying waste to the natural. I mean, and against Dragoons too, they're especially very good. But against Archons and Storm, that is where the Hydralisks really struggle here. Another dead Archon. The Archon death count has just got to be through the roof right now. Lings showing up to deal with the Dragoons. Lurkers burrowing on here, in here at the same time. Somebody actually said, I'm not sure how many times you said at the same time in that replay, but it was a lot. So I'm trying to cut down on it. Lurker fairly unsupported here. Couple Lings, couple Hydras. 15 kills on that Archon. Good golly, Miss Molly. But guess what's here? A million more Zerglings. Can a million more Zerglings do this thing? The Storm, pretty great. Lings are just running through the Storm like they don't care. Like they can't feel it, but they can. Pretty good positioning here. Putting the Archon behind this wall. Giving him 24 kills. Yeah, moving Lings was not the correct decision. 26 kills, including a Lurker. More Archons morphing in. That is actually summoning. It's officially summoning. It's a very small circle, but I guess they've always been kind of small. So yeah, we're at 5 bases compared to 1. I don't think there's anything even in production for Adelscott. So once again, slow bleed here from Adelscott. We might speed it up just a tiny bit. Just the teeniest and tiniest of bits. Lurkers on this ramp, but guess what can kill it? Archons with Overlord support, with Observer support. So I mean, he's long distance mining from his natural right here, but he just ran out of his natural. He has to long distance mine from his third to get enough to make another Nexus. It's just not going to happen. It's 40 supply for the Protoss and 140 for the Zerg. We've got Mutas now. Okay. So, Muta, maybe not what you want against fully upgraded Archons, at least attack Archons with Templar and Dragoons. So maybe that's a mistake out of eOnzErG. But here we go, more Zerglings coming on down. I guess he recognizes the army's out of supply, or out of position, rather. Is he going to run right in this main? He's going to run right in the main. Oh, Zerglings are fully upgraded. Zerglings are so fast. Do they have the Crackling upgrade? I bet they do. I bet they do. The Lings that get caught by the responding army die pretty much immediately, but taking out a gateway is no small thing for Lings. No big deal. Can they take out this Archon is the question. Hero Archon! 23 kills and 13 kills. Speeding up, because this, I mean, Adelscott just doesn't know when to quit is the problem here. I'm really surprised he hasn't tapped out. He's throwing up the eyebrows. The probes are trying to long distance mine. It's not going well. Archon has 19 kills, killing Lings a few at a time. Guardians, not Broodlords. Guardians. Somebody asked on the channel the other day, how come Zerg players don't use Broodlords? And the answer is, I think they're just too slow. It's hard. It's easy to outposition them. They take a lot of damage from things like Archons, from things like Scouts. Wraiths, Marines are pretty good against them as well. They're very similar to Broodlords in a way. And so they're just too easily countered. But if you're super ahead, if you are super ahead of your opponent, then by golly, go ahead and make several Broodlords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 Broodlords. Not even maxed out either. That's how few workers you have to have mining in the Brood Wars. You just don't need that many. You can have a giant army with a minimal worker count. I wish I could see how many workers are on the map right now. Look at that hive. It's like the depths of Hades. It's like lava magma hive or something. Okay, all right. Broodlord, or Guardians rather, I'd like to see you do your thing. You gonna do your thing? You gonna go finish them off? Hey, look, a shield battery. This is something that's been proposed in StarCraft 2 for Protoss. Instead of a mothership core, an offensive thing, a defensive thing. But I think the ability is on the Nexus. Am I right about that? I think I'm right about that. What is happening? What are you doing, eOnzErG? Did you go to the bathroom? Is this replay possibly corrupt? This replay is possibly corrupt. There are Mutalisks building, so he's done something fairly recently. Scourge in here to do, I guess, take out observers? Yeah, Scourge. Get out of there, observer. Run. There's an overlord coming. There's an overlord on the way. Ugh. There we go. Broodlords joining the party. Slowly but surely joining the party. They just have to get all the way down here. I can't even, they're not even on the same screen, fully zoomed out. This is the most I've seen a pro player sit inside a game and refuse to tap out when it was a hopeless situation in a long time. In a long time. Oh, shield battery going to be useful here against these Zerglings with Archons. 30 kills. Hero Archon of the day. Just super mega hero. 33 kills. And here come the Guardians. Ready to rain down their attack. What is this called? Acid Spore. Acid Spore. Shaboom. Shaboom. There's that sound. That sound that takes me back to 1998 when I was playing the StarCrafts. And that's a good game out of Adelscott. Adelscott has left the game. And eOnzErG is your victor. 27 minutes. Great googly moogly. Great googly moogly. All right. So that was a fun one. Again, I could have ended probably a little bit sooner. I don't know why Adelscott didn't tap out, but kudos to him for being brave anyway. 39 kill Archon. Put that guy in the Hall of Fame. But regardless, that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another StarCraft Remastered upload. Well, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.